So I know this has been covered by a lot of others, but it does beg the question, is Disney purposely not using the OT for some contractual reason? Are they running the old Star Wars into the ground?
Reimagine Star Wars.
It's time
to engage your reimagination.
Reimagine with us by subscribing and clicking that bell button. Sorry to say that Vega once again is not here. She's stuck in the Philippines because of the protests in Hong Kong. There's a little bit of news for you. But what is also in the news is that, and I'm sure this is actually just rumor mostly, but it might be based in some factual intellectual property law, and then the agreement that Lucas made with Bob Iger when he sold Lucasfilm. So what I think has happened, this is just my opinion, is not that Disney is trying to keep Lucas from getting his royalties on the toys for the OT, because I'm pretty sure that's all that's selling. But I do think that Disney is hard-pressed to try to sell their sequel trilogy. I think that it is possible that George Lucas retained the rights regarding his museum/amusement park that he's spending $1 billion on to retain the likenesses from the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy in his interactive narrative museum. So I think that Disney has no choice but to try to sell the sequel trilogy as part of their park. I think that's what it is. And so that's their focus, that's what they're pressing on, and that's what we're getting full front and center. They spent an additional $1 billion on each one of these parks that are coming out, and they need those parks to sell. I mean, what you need to realize is that Disney makes twice as much money on the parks than they do in their entire movie services. And the reason is they use those movies as advertisements for their parks. So, have they been doing a good job? Maybe not, since it seems like kids are not buying toys, kids are not going to the parks. But that is their intent. Their intent, I assure you, is not to kill the original trilogy because they need the parks to make money. So, their intent was to restructure the story, and they hoped that Ray and company would be as popular as the OT and the PT and would help them recoup their expenses in their park for the long term, because the park will make more money overall than the movies ever would, and that is what they needed them to do. And if that's the case, there's got to be some reason why they're not using the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and I have to think that they are restricted from using those characters when it comes to the parks. So, as a result, we don't have them other than what they already have with Star Tours, or what is already allowed within the Hollywood studios and other aspects of the park. So, therefore, in the new parts of the park, they have to come up with just the way that they have to in order to market it as a Star Wars theme park. I believe they thought that they could capture the lightning in the bottle that George did with the original trilogy that gave life to the prequel trilogy. And now that it's in their hands, they've unstoppered the cork, and the lightning that was in it fired the nostalgia for the first two movies. And then they didn't know what to do with the second one. And so, some people loved it, and a good many people hated it. And that has halted a lot of their momentum. Does it mean that Star Wars is over? I don't know. I hope not. But it has definitely put a damper on the progress and in the direction they want to go. And I don't think they've captured kids as much as they would have liked. And that might be because that a lot of parents who love the old trilogy and prequel trilogy as well are the ones that have kids, haven't liked it. And that in turn has hampered the amount the kids have liked it, because of course they're influenced by their parents. So with that in mind, I'm going to propose what I think might be a radical idea. It's okay not to like every movie of Star Wars. How about we just like the idea of Star Wars? I mean, we write our own Star Wars movies. We have reimaginings coming up really soon, where we're going to reimagine The Force Awakens and reimagine The Last Jedi. Why? Because we want to tell it in the way that we want it told. It may not be the way you want it told, but it's the way we want it told, and we hope that you will like it. We'll tell it to you. We're going to try to animate it and tell a good story for you. But it's also really for us, because we like the idea of Star Wars, and we want to tell it in a way that we think matches the way the original trilogy was written and the way it was designed. We hope you agree, and will come enjoy it with us and support us as we go along this journey.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Like he said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. Click the end screen to see our stories.